Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary texts and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the narrative lectionary, and we are looking at Ephesians. We just finished the Psalms, the series on the Psalms, and we're moving into the series on Ephesians. And so this is for out of Ephesians, the first chapter. And there's a couple of different directions I've been thinking about going on this one. And one is working the word, or the idea of inheritance, that this idea that we're given something that isn't, we're given something because of whose we are, that who we belong to. That inheritance is that, and I was thinking about the idea of using something that I got from my grandmother or something that was given to me from a relative primarily because of who I am, and that is I am their grandchild. I have a ring that's from my grandfather that was given to me when he died, and it was connected. And I got it because it was given to me because it was connected to my grandmother, who I had a special relationship with. And so this idea of this gift that was given to me because of who I was, whose I was, because that I was their grandchild, and this inheritance, this idea that we are given this gift of grace and forgiveness and love because of whose we are, that we are God's, that God has been at work in our life before we even knew it, and forming us, and that this gift of forgiveness and grace and love and mercy is because of who God is and whose we are. So that's one direction I'm going, and I like that. I like this idea that of why God's gift is free. It's because of our God and not because of me. It's because of who I am, because God made me that way. So that's one direction I'm going at. And the other, and this idea kind of began with something I read on Working Preacher, and that God has been at work from the very beginning. God has been at work planning something for us, for you, long before you had any clue about it. And so I have this, I found this at the Dollar Tree, and it's a happy birthday. It's a happy birthday candle thing. So you've got the happy birthday that you can put on the thing. But what really amazed me, what I really kind of was drawn to, was that it's a zero. It's a zero. And I liked it. And at first it really struck me weird, because I'm like, a zero? And of course, some cultures that's a thing. But then I realized that it's probably because you could put a 10 or a 20. You could put two letters together. But I just saw the zero, and I went, that has a wonderful thing. Before I was even born, long before, while it was before zero, God was at work. God was doing stuff in my life before zero, and I like this. I got drawn to this, and there's something there. It's where this idea, and some of the ideas I was floating around with this item was the at things at work. Sometimes they'll have so many days so many days since an accident. I thought this 0 days since 0 days since God has loved me, or 0 days have gone by with God not loving me. This idea that God always loves us. I would have to work on how to say that and be clear that this tells us that 0 days I've gone without needing God's love. I always need God's love. But again, drawn back to this idea that with a birthday, being that we're celebrating, years, first year, second year, first year of life, that zero, before this birthday cake, God was active in our lives. God was creating something for you before we even knew it. And that's the whole idea of that first part of Ephesians, is that God is active and God is working. And so whether it be this idea of inheritance, that it comes to us because of who that person, because of God, or this idea that God is working, has been working long before we realized it. So two directions. They've got the same theme, but two ways that you can approach it. So this I like, but it's going to take some work to make sure that the kids understand it. Though the zero, all the kids have had a birthday, so you can talk about birthdays, and you can talk about that. So if you're 1 year old, if you put a 1, how many years are you? 1. If you put a 2, how many years are you? 2. If you put a 0, how many years are you? Well, you're 0. You're not even a year yet. And then you can go, and you know what? Our God has been active, and our God has been loving us even before we did a birthday cake with a 0 on it. God loves you so much. So a direction you can go. Hope this is helpful for you. I hope in your own thinking around your children's sermon, a springboard for your own. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a fantastic week.